really excited for us to hear from our esteemed experts on how neuroscience in Africa can inform and unravel the complexities of brain diversity and its implications for global brain and mental health. Dr. Edwin, as a notable neurosurgeon practicing in Africa, how do you observe the interplay between neurodiversity and clinical presentations in patients within Africa?
There are clear differences. Biological systems are really genetic instructions, which then are coupled with the environmental exposure, which then will lead to some phenotypic expression. Starting in Africa, as you said, we've got the greatest range of genetic diversity. So that by itself already lends to a lot of the different processes that you'll observe. Then now coupled with the environmental exposure from the late presentation of disease because of lack of resources, the high propensity, for example, of certain infectious conditions. Then lastly, the demographics and the socioeconomic fabric is that we have a very high dependency ratio, which means that one economic productive worker is usually supporting 4, 5, or 6 people. It's the highest in the world. So that also means the economic devastation is not just what you guys measure as daily adjusted life years. It is actually multiples of daily adjusted life years. So all of those, obviously, are very important. And they form the tapestry on where we function, from how diseases present to how we treat them, to how we follow them up, and to what resources we have to intervene.
As we know, mental health is an essential aspect of brain health. So we'd like to really hear from you as a mental health expert and a leader in the Kenya Psychiatric Association on the state of mental health awareness and its correlation actually with our understanding of brain diversity in the region.
Culture is to society what probably the mind is to an individual. Because for society, it is the culture that influences the knowledge of that society, the attitudes and the practices that then reflect in the norms and the laws of whatever society it is. Obviously, the persisting of beliefs that are not supported by science is to blame. You cannot blame one particular source, but then we have a problem to deal with, which is stigma, and so our work then involves trying to correct a lot of these challenges. And over the last 5 years, we've done work with regards to creating awareness in the country.
How do you see African neuroscience research contributing to the broader understanding of brain health and equity?
We have a diverse African flora and fauna and ecosystem for comparative research. I mean, we cannot just limit ourselves to laboratory spaces, but we must recognize that we have that on the continent. We have access to clinical populations with important conditions less prevalent in the global north. It's right here on the African continent. And lastly, I think we believe we can use innovative, reuse and adaptation of existing technology and resources to answer new questions.
And we start to look at new solutions agnostically, new patterns of disease, new determinants of healthy cognitive trajectories. We will discover things that in fact will likely inform the work we do in the global north as well.